Hello, boxing fans around the world. Thank you for joining me once again on Talk and Fight for another episode of Boxing News Today, where we go through the headlines courtesy of our friends over at boxing247.com. Let's start off with a couple of results from the weekend. Joe Smith Jr. Defeating Stephen Gefford, who stepped in at the last minute. And Joe Smith Jr. retains, therefore, his WBO light heavyweight title. And for those who might have been watching on the weekend, I believe that was the knockout of the week as well. Anyway, let's have a quick read of the story here out of Turning Stone Resort and Casino in Verona, New York. The Steve Gefford story was something out of a Hollywood script. The South Florida native accepted a shot at the title on 8 days' notice, but he didn't author the shocking upset. WBO light heavyweight world champion Joe Smith Jr. made the first successful defense of his crown, knocking out Gefford in the 9th round Saturday at Turning Stone Resort Casino. Smith, who's 28-3 with 22 knockouts, was never threatened, as his activity, 665 punches thrown, forced Gefford, who's 18-3, 12 knockouts, on the back foot. Gefford had minor pockets of success in the opening round, but it soon turned into a one-sided exhibition for the Long Island native. He stunned Gefford with right hands in the 5th and turned up the heat in the 9th. When, with Gefford pinned against his corner, Smith unloaded with a combination and Gefford went to a knee. Before Mark Nielsen could finish the 10-10 count, trainer Kevin Cunningham threw in the towel to end the one-way traffic. On the undercard, by the way, junior welterweight Puerto Rican prospect Omer Rosario, who's 6-0 with 2 knockouts, learned another lesson in his young career as he nearly finished off Brooklyn's Raekwon Butler, who's 4-2 with 2 knockouts in the opening round before being forced to 6-round distance and winning a unanimous decision, 59-54 2 times and 58-55. Rosario outlanded Butler 111-49. Welterweight Jahai Tucker, who's 6-0 with 4 knockouts, is fighting beyond his years. The 18-year-old knocked down Akeem Black, who's 6-5 with 2 knockouts, with an uppercut in the opening round, and then finished things off with a flurry in the second. Tucker became the only second man to knock out Black and landed 47 out of 98 punches thrown. Middleweight U.S. Olympian Troy Transformer Isley, who's 4-0 now with 2 knockouts, threw everything, including the kitchen sink. But Harry Keenan Cruz Cubano, who's 6-3 with 2 knockouts, withstood a hellacious beating to survive the 6-round distance. Isley tagged Cruz Cubano with uppercuts in the early round and cruised to a decision by scores of 59-53 and 59-54 2 times. Cruiserweight, the Bomir Pinchov, who's 14-2-1 with 8 knockouts, lumbered to an 8-round unanimous decision over Jose Mario Flores, who's 8-3-2 with 4 knockouts by scores of 80-72, 79-73 2 times. There you go, the results from that particular card. Elsewhere, we also saw Abraham Nova against William Encarnacion. Here's the result. Undefeated featherweight Abraham El Supernova walked to the ring with a mascot and cheerleaders, but he soon found himself in a fight. Short notice opponent William El Gago Encarnacion stunned Nova with a chopping right in the first round, but Nova, 21-0 with 15 knockouts, by the way, settled in and prevailed by 8-round TKO. Nova was world ranked at junior lightweight before moving down to featherweight last year. He survived the early rough patch and plastered Encarnacion, who's 19-2, by the way, 15 knockouts with body shots. Encarnacion's corner saw enough and threw in a towel, much to the shock of those in attendance. Elsewhere, across the pond, Stuart Bert is going up against Corey Mcculloch in Trump Turnberry in Scotland on February 19th, 2022. There are less than 5 weeks to go until a Connacht boxing event that features the headlining bout Stuart Bert versus Corey Mcculloch for the Scottish welterweight title finally happens. This is a fight which is generating a lot of interest and also dividing opinion in Scottish boxing circles. Bert is the more seasoned campaigner, while Mcculloch will be having his first title fight. With a fair short of boxing careers, Mcculloch the fresher man, and will this tell over 10 rounds? Or will Bert's experience be a decisive factor over the championship distance? Fight fans will find out on Saturday, as I said, February 19th. The undercard at the Trump Turnberry features Aaron McGarvey, Darren Johnson, Alec O'Donnell, and Hayden Hill. Elsewhere, we see that Jack Catterall has signed a new management deal with MTK Global. MTK Global is thrilled to announce a new management deal with undefeated super lightweight star Jack Catterall. Catterall, who's 26-0 with 13 knockouts, returns to action next month when he faces Josh Taylor, who's also 18-0 undefeated with 13 knockouts for the WBC, WBA, IBF, and WBO super lightweight titles in an all-British undisputed showdown at the SSE Hydro in Glasgow live on Sky Sports. Ahead of the bout, the Chorley fighters extended his deal with MTK Global, committing his future to the company after a successful period so far. Catterall said, "I'm delighted to re-sign with MTK Global. They've always provided a great service and have got me into position to fight for the undisputed super lightweight titles." Congratulations to Jack. Elsewhere, we see that Ukrainian heavyweight Sony Ragava has signed for Probellum. Probellum is delighted to announce that promotional signing of the Ukrainian fighter Totsne Ragava. Apologies if I'm mispronouncing his first name. The 28-year-old heavyweight made his professional debut in April 2021 when he secured a knockout victory over Peter Mcculloch. Previously, Ragava enjoyed an impressive amateur career before going on to compete professionally as a Muay Thai kickboxer, where he became the 2018 ACB KB heavyweight champion. "This is a big moment in my career. I'm delighted to sign for Probellum," said Ragava. "After making the transition from Muay Thai kickboxing to professional boxing, I'm very excited about where the future holds, and I firmly believe that under the guidance of Probellum, I can go on to achieve a lot of success." Let's wait and see. Elsewhere, as I've reported earlier, the World Cup Boxing Series, that's the WCBS, plans have been finalized, and the WBC is to sanction the event. It's a 4-man lightweight tournament. It'll take place in the spring of 2022 at the Palenque de la Expo in Ciudad Obregón. That's in Sonora, Mexico, on the 24th of February. WCBS has finalized plans for its inaugural 4-man lightweight tournament presented by Roy Jones Jr. Boxing Promotions, with the semifinals on February 24th in Sonora, Mexico. At its 59th annual World Boxing Council convention in Mexico City this past November, the WBC committee approved to sanction the WCBS 4-man lightweight tournament created by CEO Terry Holland and matchmaker Guy Taylor. "We are extremely grateful for the WBC to support our upcoming 4-man lightweight tournament," Taylor said. "The semifinals will be held February 24th. The championships June 2nd. The World Boxing Council will crown the winner of the 4-man tournament at its new WBC Latino lightweight champion. The WBC, for their part, hopes to be able to sanction more World Cup Boxing Series tournaments and create great regional champions to enter our world rankings and achieve their goals with the WBC," Alberto Guerrero of the WBC commented. Finally, today's episode, Leigh Wood out of Nottingham going up against Michael Conlan, and tickets are going on sale this week. So we should see how those two fighters and their promoters fare. That's a matchroom event, and I can see that the VIP ticket is £300 a pop, whereas if you're sitting up in the upper atmosphere, it's £40. All right, this is taking place at the Motor Point Arena in Nottingham on the 12th of March, and Leigh Wood will make his first defense of his WBA featherweight world title against Irish star Michael Conlan at the Motor Point Arena in Nottingham, as I said, March 12th. Live on DAZN, and tickets are now going on sale. Wood is 25-2 with 15 knockouts, stopped China's Shu Kan in the 12th and final round to claim the WBA world title in a huge upset at the top of the bill in the first week of the Matchroom Fight Camp in Brentwood, Essex last July. Leigh created history by becoming only the second ever boxer from Nottingham to become a world champion, following in the footsteps of former IBF super middleweight Carl Froch, who was watching on from ringside. Belfast Conlan, for his part, who's 16-0 with 8 knockouts, earned the interim WBA featherweight crown by defeating former world champion TJ Doheny on points over 12 rounds in an all-Irish clash as part of the Félé Owen Pulbul Festival at Falls Park last August. One of Ireland's most successful ever amateurs, 30-year-old Conlan has remained undefeated since joining the pro ranks in March 2017, following his controversial exit from the Rio 2016 Olympic Games, picking up the WBA and WBO Intercontinental titles along the way. Said Wood, I visualize getting him out of there. Mick is a good fighter, but I'll be too much for him. When things aren't going right, I've got a quit in me, and what? Oh, I haven't got a quit in me, and I'm extremely confident getting the win and looking good doing it. I'm a lot bigger and more seasoned fighter. I'd like to show a lot of grit and resilience. I've taken a hard route to get where I'm today. I don't want to get to this level and then climb back up again. No kidding. All right, sports fans, that's it for today. I hope you've enjoyed this show. This is Boxing News Today, coming at you each day throughout the week at 11 a.m. Remember to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and look forward to seeing you tomorrow, if not later today at 4 p.m. on Knuckle Up.